Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great today as always. Today we are talking about a much talked about topic, talking about the UX job market and it being oversaturated. So yeah, we're gonna get into my thoughts about it. More importantly, we're also gonna talk about how you guys can stand out in this kind of job market. So with that, let's get into it. You know the feeling when the coffee is hitting? It is hitting this morning. It is so good. So good. Anyway, is the UX job market oversaturated? Yes, I think so, with obviously some caveats to it, but yes, I do feel like the market is oversaturated. Why is it like this, guys? I think there is a lot of demand. It's a lot of demand, especially from the employer side. So all these companies are seeing the value of UX design. So there's a lot of demand. There are some lower barriers of entry where it doesn't necessarily require a degree. There's a lot of bootcamp opportunities out there, which I think is great because I want people to be able to access this stuff. And obviously there is still even a little bit of a barrier with some of the prices of bootcamp. So just the popularity of tech. I think over the past couple years, we've seen that, tech has had its highs and some really, really lows, but we've seen the popularity of tech and people just wanting to move into it in a way that we've never have before. Like I didn't grow up thinking I was going to work in tech. I wanted to be a lawyer or a fashion designer and an interior designer. These are the kinds of things that I wanted to do. So I think just our demographics and our society's thinking is changing a lot. And I think though, guys, not to sound harsh, but the job market is oversaturated, but it is oversaturated with a lot of bad designers. And again, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I do think there's bad designers, there's bad lawyers, there's bad, hopefully not bad doctors, goddamn. That's just the case in every industry. I knew a ton of bad interior designers. And they're not bad people. They're just, maybe that wasn't really the profession for them. So I do feel like there is a lot of not so great designers just because people are kind of churning through things really quickly and they're not stopping to analyze like, hey, is this a good fit for me? So I think the job market is really difficult if you are a good designer to stand out amongst all the bad designers. So yeah, that's why I feel like it's oversaturated. But we're going to talk about some things that hopefully can help you elevate yourself and get seen by some of these companies. I would say the toughest thing when it comes to applying for jobs is the work experience requirement. A lot of companies are unfortunately not looking for fresh out of school entry-level designers. So some places are, but I think more than not, they're looking for somebody that's got even a year of experience. So if you could get yourself some freelance work, do that, guys. Like it's a lot easier said than done, but if you can offer your services to anybody in your life, like I was even thinking about breaking this down super simple. Like let's say you have somebody who's getting married and instead of going, wedding websites are like really a thing. Instead of your friend going to, I think The Knot is like a popular one, offer to make their wedding website and put that in a portfolio. I'm talking about breaking it down so hard, guys. Like if there is a little mom and pop shop that needs a website that doesn't even need like purchasing, like you don't have to buy anything, just a page that shows some products, landing page, contact information, do that. I mean, literally do anything and everything that you can. I was just getting out of boot camp now, I would 100% be doing that. Like I was even thinking as I was still applying for jobs and I was working as an interior designer, I was even thinking like, asking my current company, like, hey, can I work on the website for you guys? Can I improve some of the UX things? Like anything you can do, guys, to get some experience on your resume. It's going to help you stand out. It's going to help you stand out amongst everybody else and they're just school portfolio projects because everybody's going to have those. But if you have some like work experience, you have references that you can put down, that's really going to help you show that, hey, I am a working designer. I have a client, I have constraints. This is how I solve the problems. Like those are the things that are really going to matter. Next thing that I would do to stand out is I would keep twofold. I'd keep learning and I'd keep polishing. So what I mean by keep learning, the blanket term of UX designer is very popular, but I would try to learn and try to niche myself down a little bit if I could, and maybe focus on things that are not as popular, but then I could get some continuous education on. So let's say maybe you're specializing in accessibility or you're specializing in augmented reality or bigger than that, AI, guys. Like if you could somehow merge UX and AI into a one beautiful, happy marriage, that would be amazing because there's so much AI happening. It's literally everywhere. So that's just an example, but if you can get some additional courses or classes or anything like that that you can kind of focus on, like, hey, I have this certificate in AI design and copywriting or something like that. You know what I mean? You guys get what I'm saying here. So if you can niche yourself down a little bit and get something like that, I think that's really going to help you stand out. The other thing I said was to keep polishing. And so what I mean by polishing is your portfolio and your resume. Guys, have you shown your portfolio or resume to a professional, to a recruiter, to, and not just like as you're applying for jobs, but as some kind of mentorship? That part is really, really important. So I'm going to shout out SPRINGBOARD because when I was going through my boot camp, I was applying for jobs. I was meeting with my mentor / career coach, I think on a cadence of every other week. And we really used that time to just talk about whatever I wanted. And so I'd show my portfolio of something that I updated. I worked on my resume with him, and he specifically had a tech recruiting background. So he was the guy, the first initial recruiter step through the door that was hiring people like me, that was hiring UX designers. Guys, he had the cheat codes, he had the deep cuts, like things that I would have never have guessed as I was applying for jobs and like what they were looking for on a resume, what stood out to them, how to get past the applicant tracking system, like all these kinds of things that I would have never known if I was not working with him. The next cohort starts October 9th. And if you guys want to take advantage of the resources that I use to get myself a job, check out the link down in my description box. That link and the code down there will get you $1,000 off any of the programs. So take advantage, guys. It helped me. First person account. Helped me seal the deal. So I hope it does that for you. Next thing is networking. I kind of hate the word networking, guys, because and maybe it's my own past feelings about things, but it always just like, it just makes me feel like I hate that word. And for me, honestly, this is probably the most difficult piece because you have to put yourself out there and you have no control of how it's going to go. So when it comes to meetups or any networking events, job fairs, make sure you go in with a purpose. Like, even if it's something as simple as like, I'm going to talk to 2 people. That's it. Maybe not even more than that. I'm going to talk to 2 people and they will know a little bit about me and that I'm a job seeker and that's it. And maybe like what I'm interested in. Like, I think if you break it down into smaller chunks, it's a little bit easier. It would be hard for me, knowing the person that I am, to go in and just like work the room and like flash my business card. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not who I am. But if I decide like I'm going to go to this many UX events a week and I'm going to talk to 2 to 3 people every time and just get my name out there, that is something that's manageable for me. And it's just something that's, in my opinion, a little bit more attainable, but depends on the kind of person that you are. And I also take it virtual as well, you know, like join local design groups. Like, I think I was on Ladies of UX Denver or something like that. That's what I was on. And those were the kind of jobs that before they hit like LinkedIn and some of the big job boards and Indeed and stuff, they were there. And also you can actually find some good freelance work there too. So try to look at the local stuff, get onto any virtual conferences, webinars. Like Config was a few months ago. I know Maze is disco conference is happening soon. So like those are the kind of things that you just literally sit on your computer all day, but you're still like absorbing things and learning things and like recognizing people's names in the industry. So that's the kind of stuff that you can do continuously. It's almost like continuous education. You just make sure you're still on top of things. And that's the stuff that really helps you stand out. Don't forget to check out SPRINGBOARD. The link is down in my description box, and that'll get you $1,000 off any of their programs. And like we talked about today, guys, it is possible to get a job in a saturated market. You also want to make sure that you've got the right skills for that. So check out this video here where I go over the top soft skills needed for UX job seekers, and I'll see you guys over there.